Hey guys, Kevin here with etrailer, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install the Valterra RV double waste drain here on our 2018 Forest River Grey Wolf travel trailer. So as you can see, we have a few different varieties of our double waste valves. Starting up here at the front, we have a straight 3-inch waste valve for our black tank with a 45 on gray tank. These come with both the cap or without the cap. As you can see on this one, we have the straight 3-inch waste valve without a 1.5 inch for our gray. So this is the kind of instance where if you had your pipe separated, maybe you have two single waste valves on there, you could piece those together by running pipe from your gray waste valve up to this actual hub on here. Further back, we have two 90s. So we have a 90 for our gray and a 90 for our black. These come in different sizes, as well as with the cap or without it, if you needed to extend it further out. Over here, we have two 90s, one without our cap. It's got a hub instead, one with our cap. And these are both 3 inches on each side. So the only instance where you'd really want to use this is if you had two black tanks. Or if you really had to, you could use a reducer to switch from your 3-inch to your 1.5 inch and then run your 1.5 inch gray plumbing over to that. Further back, we have kind of the same thing here. If you had another gray tank, black tank, or even just your freshwater, you could run another pipe up to our third inlet here. But like I said before, you'd also need to have another waste valve to shut off that water if you didn't want it coming through. And right here we have a straight 3-inch along with a 90 1.5 inch for our gray, and then the exact opposite next to that, which is a 90 for our 3-inch and a straight for our 1.5 inch gray. Determining the correct double waste valve for your situation is definitely going to vary. As you can see with our old one right here, it used to be a straight 3-inch with a 45 off 1.5 inch for our gray. So if I wanted to replace it with the same thing, I could use one of our two double waste valves right here, but I'm going to be cutting this back and changing it just a little bit more. So I feel like adding a straight 3-inch with a 90 on our 1.5 inch is going to end up being the easier choice. So obviously these aren't all going to easily just swap right in and out. You may have to change your setup. You may have to use some more fittings or couplers just to get the right fit and make sure that you can easily access your drains. So originally I was thinking I was going to be replacing a 3-inch straight with a 90 for our 1.5 inch gray side, but after looking at it some more, I think I'm going to stick with a 45 instead. So what I'm going to be using is our double waste valve with a hub for our 3-inch, and then I'm going to line up and get this kind of exactly where we need it, so I can cut back our gray pipe right here, and then I'm going to use a 1.5 inch hub to hub 45-degree fitting, and then just run a straight right over from this over to the hub that's on our gray right here. So with our drain just kind of sitting on here, we can kind of figure out what size pipe we need. To do that, we're going to put on our elbow here, and then we're going to measure from the inside of our hub to the inside of our hub on here. We don't want to make the cut just from edge to edge here, because then there's going to be nothing for the pipe to grip into. So I've actually already gone ahead and cut down what we needed, just about 4 inches. So we can go ahead, pull this all off, put it together, and then just kind of dry fit it. I played around with it a little bit already just to kind of see how this was going to work, and I noticed I would have to already have our pipe and our fitting onto our drain, so that when I push this on, I can push them both together real easy. Push that in, start getting that pushed into place. There we go. So now that we know this is going to work, we can pull it all off. We can get our cement up all of our pieces together, and then slide them in place. So as you can see, our neighbor's plumbing has seen some better days. So what we're going to do is we're going to first start by taking down this corrugated plastic that covers the bottom of our trailer. That way we can kind of assess where the damage is, if we have any more damage to our pipe further in. That way we can make sure that when we replace this, everything else is going to be secure. We don't want any of our black tank or our gray tank leaking out into the bottom of our trailer here. To do this, we're going to start by removing our bolts. Trim this back a bit more. So because we can't really get this off with it glued in place, we're going to have to cut it, and I'm going to try and get it just right along the edge of this fitting right here, because we don't really have a lot of pipe left, just because this is where our holding tank is. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this out right now. All right, now that we have that pipe off, I'm going to go ahead and just take my utility knife and I'm going to clean up around our cut here. Just make sure we get rid of all those burrs. That way when we put our new fitting on, it'll slide right over real easy. So when you're trying to determine what's going to be the best fit for your camper, we do carry a variety of different sizes and connection types. So like for example, this one right here, it is a 90-degree bend with a spigot and a hub. So a hub is going to be your portion that actually slides over a pipe. Your spigot is going to be the portion that slides into a pipe. Here we have a couple where it's both hub on each side. Over here we have some 45s with a spigot and a hub, or hub to hub, and then also a much shorter version of the hub to hub 45-degree. And then we also just have straight up couplers that will fit over 2 3-inch pipes. So on our black tank we have somewhat of a bendable, kind of rubberish gasket on here that was used with a hose clamp to try and hold on our pipe to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some straight pipe. I'm going to cut a little portion of that, and then I think with our smaller hub to hub 45 and then our 45 spigot to hub, we'll be able to piece those together, get that attached to our black tank, and then have a portion for our actual waste drain to hook into, and then we can go ahead and start figuring out our gray side. So I cut a little 4-inch strip of black pipe. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push this into our hub coming off of our black tank. It is very tight fit, so I'm not really going to have a second opportunity once I get it all the way on there to go ahead and put the solvent on. So we're going to go ahead and just do that right now. That way we know it's got a real tight seal on it, because we don't want any leaks. So I'm going to put some on the outside of the pipe, and then some more inside of our hub. And we can go ahead and start sliding the pipe into place. All right. And with that on there, I'm also going to put on our hose clamp that was on there originally, just to tighten that down and make sure that we really have a secure connection. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on my hub to hub 45-degree here. And once again, I'm going to take our cement, I'm going to put it on the inside of this pipe in our hub, and then also on the outside of our straight pipe. I do want to say, just make sure you're in a well ventilated area while you're doing this. The fumes are pretty strong with this. Slide that on. Make sure we get it in the position we want, because once this is dry, there's going to be no getting that off. Next part, we're going to take our 45 spigot to hub, put that into our other hub that we already put on, Same thing, putting on our cement on the outside of the spigot and on the inside of the hub. Position it like this. Get in there nice and tight. Like I said, once you get this on, this dries real fast. So you really want to make sure you got it exactly how you want it when you push it in. So I cut another 4-inch strip of our 3-inch pipe. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that in here so that it can attach between our hub on this and our hub on our actual waste drain. Slide that in. And we're good to go. To connect all of our parts together, we're going to be using LaSalle Bristol's black ABS cement. The good thing about it being black is that it's going to blend in real nice. Our old plumbing had like a gross yellow looking glue on it before, where this is all going to blend into one thing. So let's go ahead. Actually, let's do our hub first. Do our hub for our gray. And be careful, we don't want to get that any further inside of there and touch the actual valve itself. And then we're going to do the outside of our straight pipe. And slide that into place. All right, and since we were test fitting this on that pipe, it's a little bit dirty, so I'm gonna make sure I kind of wipe it out first. I don't wanna have anything that's gonna prevent our cement from actually sticking to our pipe. I'll wipe that off just a little bit, I don't want too much. We'll go around our straight pipe. Now we can fix on our 45 here. I want to make sure that I get this exactly how I need it, because once this sets after just a few seconds, it's gonna not want to move. And now we can go ahead. We're gonna put some cement in the hub for our gray and our black. And then on our actual plumbing over here, on our outside, and on our gray tank as well. And now we can slide these up onto our pipes. Make sure we get it fully seated before this starts to dry. Now we can go ahead and let that dry. You'll want to let this sit for at least 24 hours and then you'll be good to go. You can go ahead and start using your trailer again. So now that all of our pieces are together and they're cemented correctly, we have it exactly how we want it. I went ahead and I stuck some foam in between our frame and our actual drain here. I don't want to take any chance at this coming up and rubbing against that or any bouncing when we're going up a steep road or a bumpy road or anything like that. And then I went ahead and I took some spray foam to kind of fill in the cavity, because our old RV waste drain also had a bunch of spray foam kind of in here. So once that's done, we can go ahead, we can put those bolts back in and cover up our undercarriage here. That way we don't have any water or anything getting up in there, and then that's also going to protect our insulation that's already inside of our trailer. But I think that about does it for today's installation of the Valterra RV double waste drain here on our 2018 Forest River Grey Wolf travel trailer. My name's Kevin. Thanks for watching, guys.